Pathlon Settlers, and if you're into the non-competitive side of cycling, riding party pace, the Badger people, hit that subscribe button. I've been trying to get an Ibis Haka to review on the channel for the last couple of years, and it has finally happened. Devin from Archer Components actually sent out his personal bike.
Dropped chainstays. Getting more and more normal with each bike I see them on. All right, we're doing this. We're gonna do it. Something that I'm particularly bad at. We're going to review the Winspace G2 Gravel frame set. A tiny little bit of housekeeping before we really get started here. Full disclosure, Winspace did indeed send me this frame set. They also sent me the wheels to go with it because I was too broke to have the parts to build it up without wheels. And finally, I think for just like a little bit of context, I personally am not an overly accomplished bicycle rider. And if I'm like truly honest with myself and you, the audience, I would probably say that I reach about 30% of the potential of most bikes. I am just an unexceptional, regular human being who really loves to ride bikes. So for fun, for my own entertainment, I decided to go about like trying this bike slightly different than I normally would. And what I mean by that is when Winspace reached out and they're like, do you want to try this bike? And what size would you take? I looked at the charts just to find the right top tube length that I would normally ride, ignored all the other numbers, did not look at them, and said medium. And I built the bike. That's the video in the description below if I don't forget to link it. And then went and rode it completely blind to any and all geometry numbers, save for the top tube length, for the last like 200-ish kilometers. Just like half as a way to eliminate the preconceived notions that you have of a bike by knowing its geometry super intimately just by the numbers on the chart, and half to see if I was like nerdy enough to actually be able to nail those numbers just by riding the bike without knowing them. You know how like if you know the numbers of a bike, you expect it to fit in a certain box. So you go out expecting that, and then you'll just sort of make your feelings feel that, you know what I mean. So right away, jumping on to my built Winspace G2 Gravel, my immediate thought was, oh wow, this thing's super comfy. Like, oddly comfy. Me thinking, well, obviously something has to be going on for me to like even notice that I'm like somewhat isolated from any sort of road vibrations, especially on like sidewalks or riding over somewhat imperfect roads. The bike was comfy. And then once I was over that like kind of initial surprise of comfort, the handling, the power transfer, like all those buzzwords that any other reviewer, maybe a professional reviewer would say, they were all there. Nothing felt foreign, everything felt relatively familiar. Push on the pedals, you feel the power kind of go directly to the rear wheel. The steering, like that all felt super familiar. Being on this, if you blindfolded me and didn't tell me what I was on, I probably wouldn't. So in saying all of that, if you asked me to guess, like just give like a vague idea of what I thought the geometry of this would be, I would have said the same numbers as my size 54 Crux, save for a very slack, like way slackened out seat tube angles, so that's how I'm getting the flex. Survey says wrong, Eric. Seat tube angle on this 73.5. That is the exact same seat tube angle of my Specialized Crux. Head tube length, I'm a little embarrassed to say, 165 millimeters long on the Winspace, 140 on my Crux. With a difference of bottom bracket drop of about 7 millimeters between the two. This is 7 millimeters lower. So this bike definitely certainly puts you in like the endurance road category, yet I still find they don't feel all that different from each other. And then the last piece of this puzzle would be the head tube angle. This using a 70.8 degree head tube angle. My Crux uses a 71.5. I find the front end of this bike and the power transfer to be very, very similar between the two bikes. But what bothers me is if it uses a 73.5 degree seat tube angle, and it's definitely more comfy than the Crux, like what's doing it? Why is it that way? Oh, what's that? A pretty good little path here that I'm gonna go up, even though I don't know where it goes. I love these roads. Yeah, I don't know what it is about bikes once they're dirty and like all the mud and everything dries and it's just dirt on the wheel like that. But I love that. I love the way bikes look when they're super dirty. I guess just as like a cliff note on the road, good. It's good. Especially with these wheels on. Now I assume you're probably making the rounds to all of the different YouTubers who have a Winspace G2 gravel for review, so I will spare you the all the like details. But in the event that I am the first Winspace G2 gravel review video that you've clicked on, here's some high level points. Tons of zits on the down two, 3 on the top, 3 here, 3, I guess, are those 3-pack mounts on the oh, I don't know what a 3-pack mount is. This thing on the seat stays, that is to put a fender on, and also provisions here for a rack. Otherwise, you can look up everything else, or I really recommend you go see the video that The Bike Sauce here on YouTube made about his black one that he was sent. He went into like all the super fine details. So I think my only qualm with this entire package is literally just the blanking plates and the cable routing like plates. The way they go in is not intuitive. It doesn't seem particularly well thought out. It could be better, but it's like one and done. I'm not gonna have to think about it for a long time to come. So end of the day, end of review thoughts of the Winspace G2 Gravel. It performs, it handles, it feels very, very similar to other carbon bikes that I own. Apart from the fact that I do personally find that the Winspace is like oddly more comfortable to ride. And I think that just comes from even with the stem being slammed, I am definitely in a more upright position. There's some sort of flex compliance going on back here, but I'm not willing to do the research to find anything out about it. I'm just gonna accept it and say that I feel more comfortable riding this thing. And that I would say it's like probably a good stepping stone for maybe someone who picked up a Poseidon X or like a Poseidon Redwood. You rode that bike for a little while and then you're like, I kind of want to experience this like lightweight carbon bike world. While I've never ridden an Open at all, I bet this thing rivals the Open for a third of the cost. Anyway, I think it's a great bike. It's not leaving this stable for a while, so maybe that's more of a testament to how I feel about it than anything I've said in the shed. So expect it to be here for at least 1 to 2 years, and we'll keep talking about it, see if we can break it. I don't know. Whatever. Really go check out like other reviews. I'm probably going to. I may have totally missed the mark here. I don't know. I'm really bad at this stuff.